Okay. Melina, can you tell me what this is? Have you ever seen one of these before?
No.
Okay. This is a Chinese lantern. So people, when they are celebrating the Chinese New Year in China, they use these for decoration. Do you ever use anything for decorations when you're doing New Year's, or how do you celebrate New Year's?
I go outside and pop fireworks.
Yeah, that's how I love to celebrate New Year's too. So in China, the Chinese have a big celebration just like we do for New Year's. They decorate with these Chinese lanterns. They do all kinds of stuff. So what I'm going to do, we're about to read a book, but I'm going to give you some vocabulary words. They are wailing, briskly, and galloped. So I want you to listen closely when we read, and I want you to let me know if you hear these words, wailing, briskly, and galloped. And when you do, you can stop me and we'll use context clues to figure out what they might mean, okay? And so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna echo read. So that means I'm gonna read a page and how the author intended it. So I'm gonna read it, and then I'm gonna stop, and you're gonna read it after me, the same page, okay?
Okay.
And I will be here if you can't pronounce a word or if you need help. And then we're going to use, for comprehension, it's called a request strategy. So after each page of the book, after I read, I will stop and I will ask you a question, and then you can ask me a question about the book. So it's going to be about the book. It'll be about maybe main characters, setting, something like that. You can ask me a question about the book. I'll answer, and then I'll ask you a question, okay?
Okay.
All right. So we're going to start. So the book is called The Runaway Walk. So I'm going to read the first page, and then you will read right after me. One Chinese New Year's Eve, a poor couple sent their son Ming to the market. Trade these last few eggs for a bag of rice, said Mama Zhang. Then we can make some stir-fried rice to share with the neighbors. It won't be much of a celebration again this year, Papa Zhang said with a sigh. You'd think that by working for Mr. Li, the richest man in Beijing, we would have enough to invite everyone over for the New Year's feast.
One Chinese New Year Eve, a poor couple sent their son, Ming, to the market. Trade these last few eggs for a bag of rice, said Mama
Zhang.
Zhang. Then we can make some stir-fried rice to share with the neighbors. It won't be much of a celebration again this year, Papa
Zhang
said with a sigh. You think that by working for Mr. Li, the richest man in Beijing, we would have enough to invite everyone over for the New Year's feast.
That was a great job, Melina. So some of these words were a little hard, but it's because they're Chinese names and we're not used to them. So that was an amazing job. Thank you. Ming hurried off, eager to do his mother's bidding. It saddened him to see his hard-working parents being cheated by the greedy Mr. Li. As he walked, he daydreamed about what a real feast would be like and how nice it would be to have just one new toy to share with his friends.
Ming hurried off, eager to do his mother's bidding. It saddened him to see his hard-work parents being cheated by the greedy Mr. Li. As he walked, he daydreamed about what a real feast would be like and how nice it would be to have just one new toy to share with his friends.
Great job. So what we'll do now is I'm going to ask you a question. Where do you think this story takes place?
In a Chinese town?
Yeah, absolutely. So it actually takes place in Beijing, which is in China. Who do you think the main character so far in this story is going to be? The Zhang family? Yeah, absolutely. So far that seems pretty logical. So the next page, a small old man stopped Ming near the market. Hello, son. I see you have some eggs there. I will trade you this wok for them. No, said Ming, I need rice. Besides, your wok is rusted and has no handle. Just then the boy sang out, Boy, boy, trade for me. I am more than what you see. Ming had never heard a wok sing. He thought, this wok is magic. If it can sing, it must be able to do other amazing things. So he made the trade. The old man sauntered off, chuckling happily to himself. Oh, go ahead.
A small old man, Ming, stopped Ming near the market. Hello, son. I see you have some eggs there. I will trade you for this wok for them. No, said Ming. I need rice. Besides, your wok is rusted and has no handle. Just then the wok sang out, Boy, boy, trade for me. I am more than what you see. Ming had never heard a wok sing. He thought this wok is magic. If it can sing, it must be able to do other amazing things. So he made the trade. The old man sauntered off, chuckling happily to himself.
So, why does Ming think this wok is magic?
Because it talked to him.
Yeah, it sang to him. Do you have any questions for me? Okay. Okay. Ming's mother wasn't happy. Why did you trade for this battered old wok? What are we going to cook in it? Before Ming could answer, the wok sang out, Mother, make me shine so bright, and you shall have food to share tonight. See, Mama, said Ming, it's a special wok. Let's do what it said Papa Zhang. We're all hungry. So Mama Zhang washed and polished the wok until it sparkled. Then she set it on the table.
Ming's mother wasn't happy. Why did you trade for this battered old wok? What are we going to cook in it? Before Ming could answer, the wok sang out, Mother, make me shine so bright, and you shall have food to share tonight. See, Mama, said Ming, it's a special wok. Let's do what it said Papa Zhang. We're all hungry. So Mama Zhang washed and polished the wok until it sparkled. Then she sat it on the table.
Great job. To their surprise, it rolled off the table and out the door. Where are you going? Cried Mama Zhang. Skippity hoppity ho, to the rich man's wife I go, sang the wok, and it briskly hopped down the road.
To their surprise, it rolled off the table and out the door. Where are you going? Cried Mama Zhang. Skippity hop ho, to the rich man's wife I go, sang the wok. It briskly hopped down the road.
So do you see a vocabulary? Right, briskly. So what do you think from this story that briskly means?
Happy?
Yeah, close. So sang the wok and it briskly hopped down the road. So briskly, you see how he's hopping off? Briskly means like in a hurry or going fast. So it hurriedly hopped down the road. So for briskly, we're going to put hurried or going fast on our vocabulary card. Okay? So next. The wok skipped all the way to the Lee's kitchen. Miss Lee was overseeing the servants prepare the New Year's feast for her family. The Lees never shared their food with anyone. The wok plopped down on the counter. Where did this come from? Asked Miss Lee. No one knew.
The wok skipped all the way to the Lee kitchen. Mrs. Lee was overseeing the servants prepare the New Year's feast for her family. The Lees never shared their food with anyone. The wok plopped down on the counter. Where did this come from? Asked Miss Lee. No one knew.
Thank you for using such good expression with the questions and things like that. We'll put it to good use, she ordered. It will make a nice serving bowl. So the servants put in the wok festive stir-fried rice, pork dumplings, kung pao chicken, steamed buns, and walnut shrimp. There was still room for more. They added long-life noodles, ginger fish, and rice cakes. Yet there was still room for more. Keep filling it, commanded Miss Lee. I must go change for the party.
Well, put it to good use, she ordered. It will make a nice serving bowl. So the servants put the wok Be
Put in the wok.
put in the wok. Festive stir-fried rice. Kung pao.
Mm-hmm.
Chicken steamed buns, and walnut shrimp. There was still more room for more. They added long-life noodles, ginger fish, and rice cakes. Yet still there were room for more. Keep filling it, commanded Miss Lee. I must go change for the party.
Awesome. Great job. So the wok hopped into the kitchen and they started filling it more than what you could ever fill probably with a regular serving bowl. So she put all of this food in here. What do you think is going to happen next? Once the wok is full?
The wok might hop away.
Yeah, let's see. No sooner had the servant set the last bit of food in the wok when it jumped out the window. Skippity hoppity ho, to the poor man's house I go, sang the wok as it trotted down the road, brimming with delicious food.
No sooner had the servants set the last bit of food in the wok than it jumped out the window, skippity hoppity ho, to the poor man's house I go, sang the wok as it trotted down the road, brimming with delicious food.
So you were right. So this brimming means that it is, brimming means that it was filled. It was to the very top with food. The Zhang family could hardly believe their eyes. They gleefully removed the food and set up a big feast. As soon as it was empty, the wok rolled out of their courtyard. "Where are you going?" cried Ming. "Skippity hoppity ho, to the rich man's son I go," sang the wok as it galloped away.
The Zhang family could hardly believe their eyes. They gleefully removed the food and set up a big feast. As soon as it was empty, the wok rolled out of the courtyard. "Where are you going?" cried Ming. "Skippity hoppity ho, to the rich man's son I go," sang the wok as it galloped away. That's one of our vocabulary.
It is one of our vocabulary words. Yes, galloped. So, what do you think galloped means? Have you ever heard that used before? Galloped? Where have you heard it?
Like when a horse runs, they gallop.
Yeah. So, what do you think it means, galloped?
Like skipping.
Yeah. Or like, what did you say the first time? When a horse does what?
Gallop.
Yeah, but what is it doing when it gallops?
It
You said when it
runs.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's a bull, so it's hard to run, but the bull ran back to the rich man. Okay. The wok caught up with the rich man's son, Lan, at the market, who, though he had many toys, he never shared them with other children. The wok blocked the road in front of him. "What's this?" wondered Lan. "I could use it to hold all of my goodies." And without bothering to find the owner, the chubby boy grabbed the wok. Lan bought fireworks, toy dragons, cymbals, and drums. He piled them into the wok, and there was still room for more. So he bought lanterns, yo-yos, and kites. Finally, his weak arms grew tired, and he headed home.
The wok caught up with the rich man's son, Lan, at the market, who though he had many toys, he never shared them with other children. The wok blocked the road in front of him. "What's this?" wondered Lane. "I could use it to hold all my goodies." And without bothering to find the owner, the chubby boy grabbed the wok. Lan bought fireworks, toy dragons, cymbals, and drums. He piled them into the wok, and there was still room for more, so he bought lanterns, yo-yos, and kites. Finally, his weak arms grew tired, and he headed home.
Okay, so Lan filled up with all of these toys, and they said something about Chinese lanterns. See these Chinese lanterns? That's really similar to the pictures that we saw before we started. And some similarities between their New Year's and our, they do fireworks too. So let's see. When Lan arrived home, he put down the walk and went to find his mother. No sooner had he turned his back when the walk hopped away. Skippity hoppity ho, to the poor man's house I go. It pranced all the way back to the Zhang's house with the goodies safe inside. Ming bounced with joy as he emptied the walk. There was enough toys here for all of my friends, he exclaimed.
When Lane arrived home, he put down the walk and went to find his mother. No sooner had he turned his back than the walk hopped away. Skippity hoppity ho, to the poor man's house I go. It pranced all the way back to Zhang's house with all the goodies safe inside. Ming bounced with joy as he emptied the walk. There's enough toys here for all my friends, he exclaimed.
The walk rolled over to the door and out of the courtyard once again. Where are you going? Called Mr. Zhang. Skippity hoppity ho, to the rich man's house I go, sang the walk as it spun down the road.
The walk rolled over at the door to the door and out of the courtyard once again. Where are you going? Called Mr. Yang. Skippity hoppity ho, to the rich man's house I go. Zhang sang the walk as it spun down the road.
Great job. So far, what has the walk brought back to the Zhangs?
Food and toys.
Yeah, food and toys. The walk arrived at Mr. Li's shop just as he was counting the money. He had cheated out of the poor people of Beijing. It leaped through the window and landed on the counter in front of him. Well, here's a nice pot to hold my money. Mr. Li put handful after handful of gold coins into the walk, and there was still room for more. He dragged out a bag from under his counter and dumped all of those coins into it too.
The walk arrived at Mr. Li's shop just as he was counting the money. He had cheated out the poor people of Beijing. It leaped through the window and landed on the counter in front of him. Well, here's a nice pot to hold all my money. Mr. Li put handfuls after handfuls of gold coins into the walk, and there was still room for more. He dragged out a bag from under his counter and dumped all of those coins into it too.
I bet you can't guess where that walk is going.
It's gonna go back to Zhang's house.
To the poor people's house. No sooner had Mr. Li emptied the last of his coins into the walk when it jumped out the window. Skippity hoppity ho, to the poor man's house I go. It scooted down the road all the way back to the Zhang's house with all the money safe inside. Ming and his parents danced with delight. They invited all the poor people in Beijing to their New Year's feast. Mother Zhang served the food, Father Zhang divided the coins up among the families, and Ming handed out the toys to all of the children.
No sooner had Mr. Li emptied the last of his coins into the walk than it jumped out of the window. Skippity hoppity ho, to the poor man's house I go. It scooted down the road all the way back to the Zhang's house with all the money safe inside. Ming and his parents danced with delight. They invite all poor people in Beijing to their New Year's feast. Mother Zhang served the food. Father Zhang divided the coins up among the families, and Ming handed out all the toys to the children.
In the middle of the party, without anyone noticing, the walk slid out the door. Skippity hoppity ho, to the rich man's house I go.
In the middle of the party, without anyone noticing, the walk slid out the door. Skippity hoppity ho, to the rich man's house I go.
Yeah, so this tale kind of reminds me something of like Robin Hood, where he's taking from the rich to give to the poor. So all the poor, just from one family, they got to feed the whole village in Beijing. It hopped to the Li's house, where the father and mother and their spoiled son were weeping and wailing and blaming each other for their misfortune. When they saw the walk, they jumped up. "That's the walk that took all of our food," cried Miss Li. "And my toys," whined the boy. "I'll break it for stealing our gold," vowed Mr. Li. The walk sang out, "I dare you three to try and catch me."
It hopped to the Li's house, where the father and the mother and their spoiled son were weeping and wailing, and blamed each other for the misfortune. When they saw the walk, they jumped up. "That's the walk that took all our food," cried Mrs. Lee. "And my toys," whined the boy. "I will break it for stealing our gold," vowed Mr. Lee. The walk sang out, "I dare you three to try to catch me."
Did you see anything? What did you see in this?
A vocabulary.
A vocabulary word? Okay, what was the word?
Wailing.
Wailing. Okay, so from these context clues and from your picture, what do you think the word wailing means?
Crying.
Crying. So, yeah, it's crying. It's really like crying out loud, like yelling, crying, things like that. So, we'll write that on our vocabulary card. Crying aloud. Okay, and so we'll turn the page. The Lee family chased after the walk. Chubby Land couldn't make it very far without losing his breath, and Miss Lee had trouble running in her fancy shoes. But Mr. Lee finally caught up with it. To stop the walk, he jumped inside, pressing it to the ground. "Now I've got you," he growled. "Wait for me," called Miss Lee. "I will teach that walk a lesson."
The Lee family chased after the walk. Chubby Land couldn't make it very far without losing his breath, and Mrs. Lee had trouble running her fancy shoes. But Mr. Lee finally caught up with it to stop the walk. He jumped inside, pressing it down to the ground. "Now I've got you," he growled. "Wait for me," called Mrs. Lee. "I will teach that walk a lesson."
Mr. Lee tried to get up, but found that he was stuck tight. When Miss Lee grabbed his legs to pull him out, she slipped into the walk too. Chubby Lane finally arrived, out of breath. "Help, help, pull us out," cried his parents. Land grabbed their legs, but lost his balance and fell inside with them.
Mr. Lee tried to get up, but found that he was stuck tight. When Mrs. Lee grabbed his legs to pull him out, she slipped into the walk too. Chubby Land finally arrived, out of breath. "Help, help, pull us out," cried his parents. Land grabbed their legs, but lost his balance and fell inside with them.
Where do you think this walk is going now?
Maybe to the poor man's house to show them how to actually do a New Year's Eve.
Maybe, yeah. So, he's went to the poor man's house every other time. So they jump inside thinking that they're going to catch it, but he still keeps going with them. This walk must be pretty big for all three of them to fit in, huh?
Mm-hmm.
"Skippity hoppity ho, to far away I will go," sang the walk as it tumbled down the road with the Lee family inside, legs waving in the air.
"Skibbity hoppity ho, to the far away I will go," sang the walk as it tumbled down the road with the Lee family inside, legs waving in the air.
Dragon dancers' drums boomed, cymbals crashed, and fireworks banged, drowning out the Lee's family's cries. No one noticed as the walk sped off to the distant hills. The Lee family was never seen again in Beijing.
Dragon dancers' drums booming, cymbals crashing, and fireworks banging, drowning out the Lee family's cry. No one noticed as the walk sped off into the distant hills. The Lee family was never seen in Beijing again.
So instead of going back to the poor man's house, where did he go?
Went far, far away.
Far, far away. Yep. As for the Zhang family, they opened a shop selling walks of all different sizes and styles. Every year they hosted a glorious New Year's feast for all their friends and family. And to think, it all started with a rusted walk with no handle.
As the Zhang family, they opened a shop selling walks of all different sizes and styles. Every year they hosted a glorious New Year's feast for all of their friends and families, and to think that it all started with a rusty walk with no handle.
Yeah, great job. So, why do you think the walk chose the Changs to take this stuff away from? What in the story made you feel like the Changs maybe deserve for the walk to take it away from them?
Because the walk knew that they were really hungry and the boy did have no toys, and he was probably around the walk when he said that.
Yeah, so, well, the Zhang family, which is the poor family, wanted all, needed all of those things, and they just wanted to have a New Year's Eve celebration with all of their friends and family, and they wanted to share everything with their whole village. But the Lees wanted to keep it all for themselves. So the Lees, what is a word or a character trait that makes you think of the Lees? What are they? If they want to keep everything to themselves, they don't want to share with any. Greedy. Yeah, excellent. So they're greedy in ways that they told us that Papa Zhang said right off the bat, I work for the richest man in Beijing. We shouldn't be this poor, and Miss Lee, they had all of this wonderful food just for them. They didn't share with anyone. And what did the boy have that he didn't want to share? What was he greedy about?
Toys.
His toys. Yeah, excellent. So on the writing prompt, it says, why do you think the walk took from the Zhang family? And so what you will write is what we talked about, and I want you to give me some examples that you have read and that we have read together in the book of why they're greedy, what made them greedy. So for your writing prompt, it says, why did the walk choose the Zhangs to take away their things? What details in the text support this? So we have been learning about text evidence and what supports your answers. So what you're going to do is you're going to write why the walk chose the Zhangs and what evidence supports that. And we found some great examples in our book that we're going to use. Okay, so you did such a great job reading today, and I really appreciate it. You used expression in your voice, and I'm so proud of you. So thank you for doing such a great job. So what we're going to do to wrap up, we learned some great vocabulary words. Can you tell me what they were?
Frisky, wailing, and gallop.
Briskly, yeah, wailing and galloped. So do you remember what galloped meant?
Running.
And briskly?
Skipping.
Well, kind of the same thing, yeah. Walking fast and wailing.
Crying out loud.
Yeah, absolutely. So what I want you to do for your closing activity is you're going to have an exit card that will let you leave. You have to finish it so you can exit. Your exit card is going to be you writing a sentence using one of our 3 vocabulary words that we learned today, okay?
Okay.
All right. You can choose what you want and you can start to write.